Welcome back to the vlog. Here we are again. Having a bit of a bad hair day today, but you guys, you're so much better than last week's audience. Just like Bruce Forsyth used to say, and for the same reasons. Once again, I want to say hello Insk. Hope you're still there, my solitary watcher in the wings. Hopefully we'll be adding to you and getting more people on board and watching me every week as things go along. But anyway, back to business. Finally, I think I've got my book ready. So from last week, we were talking about typesetting, and finally, I think I've got it ready for publication, and I pass it on to the typesetting guys, only to get it back a few weeks later, now in a smart PDF version, easy to read, laid out as it will be in the book if ever it goes to market. But I start reading it, and after I've already been told about such things as widows and orphans and stacking and repetition and the likes, and now the whole thing reads completely differently. It's better. It's better, I must say, and for a while I was wondering who the hell wrote this. It's pretty decent. And then, as the editors had told me before, this will happen, I started to notice that there were now things that I could never possibly have found in the editing stage, because there were corrections that needed to be made to what's the word I'm trying to find? There were corrections needed to be made to the continuity, to the timeline, and to things like that, things that were idiosyncratic to my style. So what I'm trying to say is that editing and typesetting, no matter how carefully it's done, will always crimp and adjust some of these sort of parts, leaving the whole feel of the book different. So it was a case of rereading very carefully again, and that in itself was difficult because I knew what happened, and so I didn't see any of the mistakes that other people might see, because I'm reading the story that's in my head, not necessarily what's on the page, which is a weird thing. You can actually be looking at the page, reading the words, and in your head other words pop up because you know what you wrote originally. So it crossed my mind how difficult this process must have been in the old days, when they used to use metal stacked letters in a wooden frame, and then they'd have to cover them in ink and turn them backwards, and then that was how they made newspapers. And I just thought, how the hell did they ever get a newspaper that was readable? Why is there not a lot more mistakes? We moan about mistakes in newspapers, but I can't believe they ever print one that's readable. So, just out of interest, while I'm on the subject, a widow is a paragraph ending line that falls at the beginning of the following page or column, thus being separated from the rest of the text. Mnemonically speaking, a widow is alone at the top of the family, but in this case, the top of the family is the top of the page. So, just in case you wondered, I thought I'd let you know about that. And correspondingly, an orphan is a paragraph opening line that appears by itself at the bottom of a page or column, thus separating it again from the rest of the text. An orphan, therefore, then is alone at the bottom. Now, I won't bore you with the details of stacking, repetition, and other such wonders. So, if that lot wasn't enough, and to coin a phrase, just as I thought it was safe to go back in the water, I now started to learn about ISBN numbers and formats and how the finished article would be supplied. So next week I will go into more detail about that. So thanks for listening to this bit, which was an interesting thing for me because I learned a lot from it as it was ongoing. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll look forward to speaking to you next week. Thanks very much. Bye bye.